put this event together. We're trying to do a Shalom Bayit. This is one of the 3 series. We're going to have probably every 3 weeks. Today's going to be day 1, and we're going to grow this. So tell your friends, whoever's married, who's dating, who's looking to get married. We could all use some Shalom Bayit. We're going to email you guys, send you guys reminders. If there's a specific day and a time that works for you guys, let us know. But we're thinking maybe there's going to be a 3-part session. So this is part 1. We're going to do the second one maybe 3 weeks from now, a Tuesday, and then the third one 3 weeks after that. I hope everyone could tell your friends, share the flyers with your friends, invite them to come in. We're going to start on time next time. We just waited since the first week to see if anybody's showing up or not. Any questions, reach out to me. Otherwise, thanks for Rabbi for organizing, putting this together. And this is Rabbi Chakshui.
Okay, thank you.
We'll get started. Thank you.
Okay, hello everybody, and nice to meet so many new faces here. Thank you, Arash, for organizing it, bring it together. A very good member of our shul. So if you like Arash, you could see him more often. One morning here. Good to see you, Doctor, after a while as well. We miss you here.
Thank you.
Okay, so Shalom Bayit is a very important issue. Not only important topic for us, but for everybody. The Torah says even Abraham Avinu had to work on Shalom Bayit. When Hashem talked to him, Hashem had to change his words a little bit in order not to bring a Shalom Bayit issue between Abraham and Sarah. So nothing to be embarrassed or ashamed. Say, I want to work on my Shalom Bayit. If Abraham Avinu had a need, or God saw a need for Abraham Avinu to work on it, that means it's something that we all need to work on. When a person gets married or is dating someone, it's very important to keep in mind that you get what you see. You cannot change anybody. She is what she is, and he is what he is. Obviously, we can grow, can become better, but marrying somebody hoping I'll change her or I'll change him, or being married to somebody hoping I'm going to change her around, very wrong. And the sooner we realize that, acknowledge that, the sooner Shalom Bayit will come. So when I work on Shalom Bayit, I'm working on myself, not on somebody else. So very rare, unheard of. Maybe 1 in 1,000, somebody can change his wife around, can change her husband around, but normally it doesn't happen. So you are what you are, and she is what she is. You will work on yourself, not another party. I'm sure you heard the famous Sir Salanter. He said that I'm going to change the world. After a while, he said, no, I don't think I can change the world. I'm going to change my country. Then he couldn't do that either. So he said, my city, my shul, my family, my wife. And you know what? If I change myself, I'm happy. So changing somebody else is very, 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 very difficult. So sometimes we see that there are some people who are influenced and they really change. Somebody say, that rabbi changed that student or that member around. He's a totally different person. It's not true. He didn't change it. He maybe brought the best out of him or out of her, and he or she wanted to change, but he decided to change. There's no way for somebody to change somebody else around. Otherwise, that famous rabbi would change the whole world around. It doesn't work. So there are few yechidim, individuals who changed. They decided to change. They saw something important. He or she, whoever the influencer was, said something that the person decided to change. So if I can't change somebody else, so what are we going to do in a house that there's a conflict of interest? Obviously, just like we don't look the same, we don't think the same, we don't feel the same, we don't have the same desires. So how can I live in harmony with somebody when I don't think the same? So a person should not get upset if my wife does not think like me, just like I don't get upset that my wife doesn't look like me. Right? People are different. They're made different, they're born different, they look different, and they think different, and they feel different. So I'm going to tell you a silly example. I didn't ask my wife if I can share our own examples, but I'm going to share a few here and there. It's a very silly example, but brings out the point. Let's say something in the house that the wife wants one way and the husband the other. Let's say she's very sensitive. I think nowadays not the problem. The toothpaste tubes, they come out very easily. If you grow up in Iran, the toothpaste gets stuck. Then it depends how you press them, how you squeeze them. You squeeze them from top or the bottom. If you squeeze from top, there was no way to get the toothpaste from the bottom up, right? So he or she wants it to come nice. Start from the bottom, go up. The other spouse doesn't care. Up, down, comes out anyways. Who cares how it looks at the toothpaste looks? So somebody is sensitive about it, somebody is not sensitive about it. What should we do?
Get your own toothpaste.
Many times you can avoid the conflict like that, but many times you got to share, right? And life is all about sharing.
Communicate.
But that's how she is. She likes it perfect, nice, from bottom up. Or sometimes the guy is like that. I'm not saying not always the ladies want it, they're perfectionists. Sometimes the man wants it. So there's a rule of law. Whoever is sensitive, let him or her do her way or his way. If you are not sensitive, do it your way. But now, when there's a conflict, person who is not sensitive has to give in to person who is sensitive. Because let's say I don't care how the toothpaste comes out. Top, bottom, who cares? Not important. $2, $3, who cares? She is sensitive. I'm not going to go crazy if it comes out nicely, right? I'm not machmir, I'm not strict on it. I'm not makmir, I don't care. But she does. So why not give in to the way that she likes? You'll be happy and she will be happy. So I'll give you my personal example. The toothpaste doesn't have fly in our house. We don't care either. None of us care. When we walk, we take a walk. We try to take a walk with my wife. So, I'm not such a, I'm not so careful when it comes to the green light, yellow light, not the red light. So by yellow light, I pass the street. I pass, I got 5 seconds. Let's run. Why wait 30 seconds for the red light to turn? My wife, no, not nice. You have to wait. I get annoyed. Let's get to, why should I wait 30 seconds? I'm not walking and doing anything. She likes it that way. We do not. We once got into not an argument, but I guess both sides were annoyed. So I asked my Rav, what should we do about walking? To be honest, my wife asked my Rav, what should we do when you go on a walk? He's not present when he wants to pass, but let's say we want to go 2 long blocks and come back. I don't want to waste time waiting for the light. So my Rav says, who is more sensitive? She is. Who is less sensitive? You are. What's the end of the world if you wait 30 seconds? Nothing. So you wait to make her happy. The biggest rule of Shalom Bayit is not to be the winner. It's to give in. Because when you win, nobody won. Right? When you think, I won the argument, I won the way, I got my way, nobody's going to be happy. Maybe for a few seconds you're happy, but she's annoyed or he's annoyed. Don't Shalom Bayit. But if you give in, right? And I'm talking to the person who is not sensitive about it. It's okay either way. Why not make the other person happy? To give in, right? And the example could apply to anything in our life. Interests. One person likes to go to the beach, the other one doesn't like to go to the beach. Somebody likes to go to the zoo, the other one, I don't like seeing animals, don't want to go to the zoo. I like watching something, she doesn't like. Whatever is a conflict, you always have to look to see what happens if I give in. It really bothers me. Really, go crazy. Is that my best way? But I really don't care. I'm talking about either side. But now we are guys here, so I'm talking to the men part. So we have to accept the way that the other person does things. And if she is a certain way, we can't change her around unless she wants to change herself. So if you can't change her around, why not do what she likes and make her happy? Driving is our next example, right? My wife likes to drive fast. I don't like it. I like it to be, more within the limits. And she doesn't pass the limit, but I like it to go no smoothly. I don't like it to go past, stop, past. More. She likes it. That's what she is. You have to, the sooner I understand that's how she does it. She likes to drive fast. She's a good driver. She's a fast driver. Let her do that her way. When she's driving, she's doing it. You have to accept. If you go home and tell her, "This is how I want to cook," she cooks the way she likes to cook. Right? We have to accept the way she is. And I think that one of the worst things a person could do anywhere in life, wife, children, friends, shul, office, job, to compare. The worst thing for myself and for my spouse. Nothing good will come out of it. When you compare, what you say, somebody's better than you, so you don't give her a good feeling. She doesn't see you as a committed husband. She's comparing with somebody else. And nothing will work. Nothing will come better because I compare her to somebody else. And she just gets more discouraged, more disappointed. My husband's looking at somebody else's work. I'm not good enough for him. So it all comes back to be sensitive to the other person, the way he is, to accept the way he or she is, and the sooner I accept that's what she does, this is how she does it, the sooner Shalom Bayit will come. I'm sure we have all, next point. I'm sure we have all heard good lines, good points from other people. Some people we look up to. If they come to us and say, "Wow, great job, good job. You did it. Nice. It goes a long way." How many times do we give that kind words, the compliment to our wives? Let's say she's a good cook, and to us it's normal. She's a good cook. She always cooks. She's neat. The house is neat. She takes care of our children. Everything is. But how many times a day or a week say, "Oh, great! It's a great job. Thank you so much. Everything's so perfect." Many times our businesses are run by our wives too, and we, if somebody else did it for us, if I, employee did it, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Many times to make sure she's happy. We want to keep her happy. What about our own wives? We go home. We have to pay attention. We have to be sensitive to what they are, what they did, and say thank you and acknowledge what they did. And those few words could go a long way. I said sometimes, Avraham Avinu was 99 years old. He needed Hashem to give him Shalom Bayit. Hashem had to change his words, the way he talked to him. So sometimes, we think like, I'm good enough. I'm old enough. I passed this stage. We never pass this stage. We always need to work on it. That way around too. Sometimes we think it's too late. I can't do it anymore. I think I've ruined it so much. I cannot reset. I cannot reconnect, reignite. It could be the damage is done, and it needs a lot of work, a lot of therapy, a lot of professional help. We need Dr. Jacob for sure, his input. Of course, I'm not arguing that, but many times, and I think for most of us who want to, work on Shalom Bayit, it's not too late. We can reset our marriage and go back to square one and build it. just have to start doing it. Many times with kind words, with thank you, with appreciation. Everybody wants to be acknowledged and appreciated. People could work for hours, days, nights, as long as he or she knows someone is appreciating me. I was listening once to a talk, a non-Jewish person. He said that most people do more for you, not because if you pay them more, if you thank them more, if you acknowledge them more. Unbelievable. Many times, if I give more bonus, he will work harder for me, she will work harder for me. It's not true. If you thank her or thank him, acknowledge him, he will work, she will work more for you without getting even paid. So obviously, financial help will be a good bonus, good incentive for a person to work harder. But appreciation is much harder. It's much better and go the further way. So easy to say thank you, to acknowledge. So first you have to acknowledge what they did good for us. No, thank you so much. Everything's perfect. That's the smallest way of saying thank you. But the person could go through the day. Oh wow, you came home, you're so busy, and still you managed to wash dishes and made dinner, and you did homework and you cleaned up and you put kids to bed, or you gave showers and you still managed to do homework. What person has to go through the schedule of the day of his wife and acknowledge was so busy and still did it, because at the time that she was doing it, that's what she went through. She was so tired. She had a long day. She came back from work. She did so many things, and still did something that he liked, or he would like. He would like for her to do, or she did her own job, her daily routine, but she never gets acknowledged. That's the button for reset. You can start all from that. It says that in every, it is brought down in Jewish books, in every relationship, there's no way somebody's not going to hurt another person's feelings. Parents and children, husband and wife, partners, community members, we always hurt each other's feelings. So what's going to save the relationship? When the other person knows I'm appreciated. When you are acknowledging, when you show your gratitude to the other person on a constant basis, Volker writes that when you hurt his feeling or her feelings, he or she is going to sit down and think, oh, she was so mean to me, she embarrassed me, or he embarrassed me. But 2 days ago, he appreciated me. So, no, it's not so bad. The person thinks back and says, our relationship hasn't been, I always get embarrassed, I always get insulted. He or she acknowledges me. She thanks me, she needs me. I can go on. So appreciating and being appreciative, giving kind words, really will go a long way. It's a very good way to restart our relationship. We all know in marriage there are shared values. We all want to have shared values. So obviously, husband and wife are very different. Men and women are different. It depends where you come from, your family. We grow up differently, so we have different mindsets. That's very simple. That's why we get married. But there are some shared values in a person's life that we could always base our relationship on it and build from there. And as long as we are working our shared values, obviously commitment to our marriage, to our family, to our wife, it's a very, very important shared value. Someone who gets married, he should be ready to make a real commitment. And the person has to be very mature to make a real commitment. So very mature, you can't count on him. Right? Like making a minion. Can I count on you? Of course, I've got to come and he doesn't show up. You're not mature enough. I can't count on you. He says many things, but he never keeps any of them. He's not ready to get married. Right? So that's how we get a minion. Except if you don't come to shul, you're not ready to get married. So it's so scarce to come to shul. But I'm kidding. But can you count on someone? Marriage is a whole commitment. Coming to my family, to my wife, and this is all I have in my life. Nobody else. Emotionally being committed, physically being committed, and mentally. Obviously, what I said, comparing and checking out other people, right? That doesn't show commitment. Person is emotionally committed. Every marriage has hard times, there's a bumps on the way, but somebody is emotionally, committed. Still, obviously, everybody's going to go through a hard time, but overall, I'm committed to my marriage. Physically, God forbid, all my life I focus on my wife. Nobody else comes to my life. And mentally, I don't think about other ladies. If I decide, and I went under the chuppah, I gave her the ring, I signed the ketubah, I broke the glass. That means I committed, right, mentally to this lady. And unless God forbid there's a real mistake, big mistake, something I didn't know, or something that came out of nowhere. If you're mature enough, you work on it. The person is immature, is playing around. Unfortunately, he was not ready to get married. It was very hard to count on him. Just like the idea of chuppah and a wedding and a big event. He went through that. Marriage is all about commitment, strong commitment. But if you're married for a couple of years, that means we have showed a commitment. Just have to build on it. That's a very, very important shared value. I think, Baruch Hashem, we all in the shul, so we all agree to Torah values, and something that you could always base on relationship, on the Torah values. There are so many ideas in the world. There's no way you can convince somebody else who is right, who is wrong. And your value is right, my value. It's America. You could say what you want, you could think what you want. But if you all commit to the Torah, and what the Torah says, this is the right thing to do. Maybe I'm not there yet to do it, but I'm committed to the shared value, what the Torah says. Both sides of the husband and wife, it's the best thing a person could do. We could ask somebody, what's the right thing to do? Right? And if you are not there yet, we work on ourselves. You can't compare America to Russia, to Iran, Israel, and Europe, because there are so many different values. But we all commit to our Torah value. It's much easier. We're on the same page. Just have to find what the Torah wants from us, what Hashem wants from us. So, and that doesn't matter where a person is holding religiously. A person has to have a rav, a rabbi, that he looks up to him, and he would accept what he says. When I got married, I had a rabbi, still Baruch Hashem, after 16 years, 17 years, I have him. I ask him questions. My wife asked him questions. She didn't know him, right, before we got married. And she got to know him, and we really look up to him. Not only that, our children look up to my Rav. He's an older gentleman. He's 85 by now. Sometimes we disagree with our children, which happens a lot. And my son or my daughter said, can you ask your Rav if you can do it or not? Honestly, to this day, this week. And my wife said, what should we do? I said, let's call Ramin. We called together. My wife was on the phone. I called my Rav. My wife, we have a question about our son. What should we do? This was, after thinking about it, this is what we should do. So I'm very lucky. I honestly think I'm very, very lucky because all my family now look up to my Rav. And if you have disagreement, what my Rav says, that's the bottom line. We're not going to fight over it. But sometimes sometimes it's my side, sometimes my wife's side. Right? What was it? Something this week? My wife called him something. On Friday. So my wife is very, very Baruch Hashem, very God-fearing person, very sensitive. She takes everything into calculation. We want to do something in the shul, and my wife thought that might not be so sensitive about somebody in the shul. So should we do it or not? So I said, I'm not going to start arguing. We're going to call. And that's what happened. My wife called my Rav, and he said, it's okay, you could do it. And we did it. And my wife said, no, I didn't like it, but I do it anyways. God makes sense. We'll do it anyways. So I'm disappointed. But I thought I'm right, but I said, okay, we agree. We agree to something. It's very, very, very important. It doesn't mean we don't argue. I mean, we don't try to clarify with our Rav. We don't say, Rabbi, it's hard. This is the situation. Try to explain the situation very, very clearly, right? I've been here. I've been to LA 10 years. Been to the shul for 5 years, 5th year studying. Countless of questions. He knows. Yosef is calling. I call him twice a week, 3 times. Whatever question I have, if I think I'm biased, I can't decide on my own. I could decide, but I'm basing on my own emotions. So I said, somebody else should be involved. I asked my Rav. It's so important in marriage to have a Rav that both sides, if somebody doesn't look up to him, big problem. And it's hard to convince that person. My Rav says so who cares? I don't want to do it. But we have to find somebody that we both agree, and that he will tell us what the Torah value is. That should be our shared value, and we follow. Many, many, many discussions will not be there if the third person says don't do it or do it. Many times, because what should I listen to him? What should I listen to her? That's our ego, right? Once the third person says it, there's no ego because somebody else has said it. So it's very, very important to have a Rav. It's good, it's a good push. It's a good encouragement. We do better, and the Rav could give us some words of encouragement. Might be hard for you, but do it anyways. You'll be successful. So I encourage that very, very much. When somebody gets married, I tell all the girls, boys, not so religious, I say, does he listen to somebody? You get married in few weeks, few months. You got a problem, you got a fight. Who's going to save you? How if he doesn't give in to you? What's going to happen? You have a Rav. Does he listen to any rabbi? Big problem. His own man, Kali Chodesh. Big problem. What are you going to do? There are situations that he's not going to, calm down with, relax. What are you going to do? So, does he have a community? Does he belong to someone? If you're embarrassed to walk to a shul and say, I do whatever I would like to do at home. By the way, people who live outside the community, who don't belong to a shul, and they go 1 week here, 1 week there, only if I feel like it, go, young people go. It's very hard. He can do whatever he wants at home, or she can do, and there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Nobody's going to find out. But once you belong to a chevra, a group, good people, good young couples, good family, community, I better, act correctly because I don't want to be embarrassed. Say I couldn't go back home. If I'm alone, nobody knows, no one sees us. I live, somewhere in downtown, somewhere middle of nowhere. There's no shul. I don't belong anywhere. I don't have to give cheshbon to anybody. I don't have to give calculate. I don't have to answer anybody. Very, very hard to make shalom bayit. I've seen people who really change just because they have to. It's not for lishma. It's not the best way to change, but at least he behaves because it's embarrassing. How can I, act to my kids like this in front of people? They're gonna go and tell on me. So it's good to belong to somewhere. Another idea: love and lust. What's the difference between love and lust? Obviously, if somebody has been married, he knows that lust is only before marriage. It's something that Yetzer Hara blinds us, and he makes us think that's all we need. So I heard from a tape from a rabbi, beautiful difference. He said that when you love somebody, you could see some shortcomings in the other person. He or she can commit mistakes. She's not perfect. He's not perfect. But you love him. You love her anyways. That's love. There's some problems, but there are better sides of her that overrides the issues. Right? The shortcomings don't become the huge thing, because you love her so much, you appreciate what she is, that the mistake, the problems go away. They don't stand out so much. What's the loss? Loss is when you don't see any problems. Everything's perfect. That's a big problem. Because when the loss goes away, then the problems become, they stand out, they become very huge. What are you going to do then? You can't deal with it. Because to you, she was something only for desire. That's what I loved about her. And now that went away. What am I going to do? And they can't get along anymore. There's nothing there besides the loss and desire that he had, and it's not there anymore. Boy to girl, girl to boy, doesn't matter. It's both sides. If somebody does not see the beauty of his wife besides the looks, obviously everybody has to, look presentable. Obviously, before you get married, you check into her to see she's, matzachen be'enav, she found favor in his eyes. Obviously, no question about it. If that's the only thing on my mind, what's going to happen when that goes away, right? Obviously, relationship, intimacy, very important. If that's everything in my life, I look forward. When that desire goes away, the lust goes away, what's going to be? Very hard to make shalom right then. So love is something that I love somebody else, even though I know there are some problems, but I appreciate her because she has so many good values. She's a good Jewish wife. She helps me grow. She completes me. There's so many areas that I need her help, right? She gives me wisdom. She backs me up. She protects me from doing bad things. She's the mother of my wife, mother of my children. So many good things in my wife. Obviously, we don't have the same style, and the things that big differences in us. Fine, the good things that I see in her overrides, and the other way around too. Sometimes girls call my wife about boys, and if some of them, all on their mind is how much hair he has on his head, how young, how good looking he is, is he cute, not cute. That's going to go away in a couple of years. He's going to be bald, Look at here. What are you going to do? Is that all she asks? And I said, yes. All she asks, obviously money and looks. Disaster when they get married. How about his personality? How about his anger? How about getting along? How about giving in, as we talked about? Nobody asks. He could be the cutest guy. I don't know who is the best guy in Hollywood, but whoever he is, he could be better than him, but has big temper. What are you going to do the second week of marriage? First week of marriage, under the chuppah, so much anger, disaster. You can't live with him. There's no cure for that. So we have to look for the right values, and if the other party has the right values, he might not have so much hair on his head, or she might not be the best looking, right? And obviously, as when you get married, she gets pregnant, she has children, so the looks change. So we can't hold her the same way, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Obviously, I'm so appreciative. I have a family, I have children. My house is flourishing. Something I have to compromise, and that's the beauty of love. Love is when I can see the shortcomings, but the good things overrides the negative things. Two more points, and I end with that. Ladies have a big need, not just needing, have a big need to connect with other people, especially our family members. Ladies love their mom. Besides loving their mom, they need to talk to their mom, to their sister, to their parents. So in beginning, we get married, you always, how much can you talk to your sister, your mother, right? Or, 5 minutes for me, 2 hours for her. And we have to understand, they grew up with their parents for 20 years, 25 years, 30 years before they get married to us. So they know us for a couple of months, a couple of years, but the parents for 20 plus years. So there's a big difference in relationship. And honestly, there's nothing wrong, which I think is very good too, if you have a good relationship with your mother. The wife has a good relationship with mother, with her sisters. That means it's a healthy family. In a healthy relationship with the family, people talk. Parents talk, kids talk, they call each other up, how are you doing? What's going on? Do you need anything? Can you help me? That's what the family is for. Obviously, this has to be balanced. Obviously, we're talking about parents who try obviously to run things or to force their way to the kids' marriage. But in a healthy family, if they talk, if they work things together out, perfect. Sometimes we feel like we are left out, or we're jealous that how much can you talk to your own family? Why not me? But that's the reality of a lady. They need to connect to other people, right? They need to connect to their family members, and there's nothing wrong with it. That's just being a wife and a lady. That's a normal thing for families, for wives, for ladies. If they need us to go to their home, why not? We should give up our time because she wants to visit her parents, visit her siblings. They have a simcha, they have something in their house. We go, why not? I heard Yaakov Israel Kanievsky, the big rabbi in Israel, once a young rabbi came to him, and the young rabbi was a very big big studious person, studying 15, 18 hours a day. He asked him to ask a question, what should I learn today? He said, how much time do you give to your wife? He said, my wife is a big Eshet Chayil, big tzaddik, a very pious lady. She lets me learn all day. She does everything. But how about her own time that she go visit her family? She's very busy with the kids, with the family. I'm only Shiva all day, all night. Nobody understand how much time. I don't. You're wrong. You have to give time. You have to give up your schedule. You have to make time. She needs to go to her parents' house. She needs to take care of her family things. She has to take care of whatever she needs to take care of her side of family. And you're responsible to give up your precious time, your work time, to make sure your wife gets her things done. Again, everything with a balance, healthy balance. But that's what a lady is. A husband could, maybe I can call it, win the attention of the wife if he can be so nice and to work out with his wife so much that after a couple of years, she finds the friendship so much in the husband that she said, I like talking to you more than talking to anybody else in my family. I enjoy talking to you. You pay so much attention to my things, And I say I got hurt. I was hurt. Somebody hurt my feelings. You actually want to find out who he was, why this happened. Don't worry, we'll be okay. The worst thing the wife can hear from the husband is, don't worry, everything will be fine. They don't want to hear that. They say I have a problem. That means talk to me, ask me questions. And we can't just brush it off and say, you'll be okay, don't worry, everything will be fine. You had this before, you'll be okay. So, in our ears, they always nagging about something, there's something wrong. But if we work on ourselves and really give so much attention and time and love, she will become our best friend. And ladies like to talk, so they talk to their best friend. So they switch. They want to spend more time with the husband than the mother. Not that the husband should be cutting it off from the parents. They still have a very good relationship, but she finds that need that she has to talk to somebody, fulfill that need in the husband than the family members. So I think that could cut out a lot of Shalom Bayit problems. Why you spend so much time with your family? Why we have to really allow them to be comfortable. Again, healthy balance in everything, but they have a need and we should acknowledge that need. That's one point. And one last point, and I want one other thing. Many issues in in a household, in a relationship, without us knowing about it, it's about parenting style. I think that's something that most people argue on. How are we going to educate our kids, parent our kids, how to bring them up, how strict, how is it going, what should we do if she wants something, husband says, yes, let's do it, the wife says, don't do it, or the other way around, someone's more strict, someone's less strict. I think that's, Shalom Bayit is a very, very hot topic. I mean, when it comes to parenting, for that, I encourage everybody to join my wife's parenting sessions. She's very knowledgeable and she's very good. And she just had a class last week. We get so many questions, ladies call. So maybe if you sign in the signing sheet, we get your emails and numbers, and we can keep you posted. Definitely something must heard, must done. I think many ladies asked for a couple session when they came last week, and I think my wife is scheduling next session in 2-3 weeks to have a couple parent, a couple not for ladies only, would be a couple and would be at night, so men could come. So parenting is a very big issue when we come to Shalom Bayit, and we should be knowledgeable what to do with our kids, because kids are kids and they always bring a lot of fights between the parents. The last thing is that I want to finish up is I said sometimes people think it's too late. I can't fix it anymore. It's too far gone. Which is not true. Many times it's not. We just have to be brave enough and strong enough to start it off, and we'll be without Hashem get going. I had a beautiful example from the Torah from 2 weeks ago. Adam Harishon. Adam Harishon failed his only test of eating from the tree, and Adam ate from the tree of knowledge that he was not supposed to eat. So with that, he brought death to the world. She ate, he ate, and Hashem said, "You're all going to die. You're not going to live forever." So when Hashem asked Adam, "What did you eat?" So he said, "The wife that he gave me, the lady gave me to eat. It's not my fault, her fault." So I'm saying, Hashem, thank you so much. I'm blessed to have a wife. He blamed her for his shortcoming. And Hashem said, "That's how you appreciate me." So, what the Torah writes. Then the Torah writes that Adam named his wife Chava, right? Before that, maybe Torah says Chava, but she didn't have an official name. She was the Isha, the lady. Now she has a name, Chava. Why Chava? Because she became Em Kol Chai. She became the mother of every living. So I heard that, why did he call her Em Kol Chai? You're the mother of every living. The other way around, you're the mother of every death, because you brought death to the world. From now on, we're not going to live forever. We're going to die. Every person who comes to this world will die. So, her name should have been Mavet, death, or something like that. Chava, mother of every living. So the answer is, why? Because he turned around. He said, instead of thanking Hashem for what I have as a wife, I said, you gave me a wife, that's what you did to me. Maybe instead of calling her mother of every death, I want to call her mother of every chai, every living, everything alive, because I want to start thanking her. Because if anything, anybody comes to the world, it's got the wife, right? Because the lady, she gives birth. At least I'm gonna put a good name for my wife. That's my appreciation. So the point is that many times we fail, and being human being, we always fail, we make mistakes, but that doesn't mean we should give up and say, it's too far, too late. I'm not going to get up anymore. You have to be strong to get up and appreciate and say good words, kind words, work on ourselves, and be more sensitive, and God willing, Hashem will help us to bring in more Shalom Bayit to our lives. Any questions?
Thank you. Your wife was, I think my wife gives every kid 15 minutes before they sleep or something like that. Yeah?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
What's your name? What's your wife's name?
Diane.
She not this past session. She came to Minister Mira's house a few years ago.
No, I don't know. A week or 2, 3 weeks. I don't know. Sometime in the past few weeks.
Oh, okay. So that might
Maybe your wife
a
knows,
week ago.
yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, yeah.
Fine.
Putting one and one together. That's all.
Every kid, but
Yeah, 15 minutes.
Right. That's
Private
right.
time every night.
To give every kid 15 minutes one-on-one time. You can't give to every kid every night. Depends how many kids you got. But Baruch Hashem, we have a big family. So my wife divides every night. Tuesday for for Aaron. Monday for you. So every kid
That's
gets
once a night.
special time before they go to bed. Okay. Fine.
Thank
Please
you,
enjoy
Rabbi.
your time, and we hope to see
Guys,
you soon.
whoever hasn't signed in, sign in so we could send you flyers, emails for the next event. Thank you, Rabbi.
Sure.